The yeast of your concerns. Help solve a mystery. Once upon a time, in a land not so far away, there lived tiny creatures. In this kingdom, the yeast were part of a big group known as microbes. The yeast had many jobs to do, and overall, most led happy little lives. Meet U94922. Sorry that I couldn't find a very good picture of it. In fact, little U94922 is in a costume here, maybe even covered by more than one thing. It's hard to see what it looks like. Although the microbe resembled others, it really didn't understand its family. Who is it related to? What physical characteristics did it have in common with other members of its species? These were pressing questions. So the microbe went on a mission to seek answers. First, it sought to find microbes that looked like it. U94922 had short, stubby legs and arms. Could these be related? What do you think? And why do you think that? Please stop the book at this time. Think about your answer and then discuss it with your partner. The next microbe U94922 met on the quest appeared to have similar facial features. Was the microbe getting closer to finding and understanding its family? U94922 decided to ask questions. It knew that its kind often lived in wet places. You learned that this organism lived in warm, wet places. In fact, its whole family did. This lead seemed promising, but the quest continued. One thing became apparent to U94922. This was not going to be easy. Yeasts are abundant, and there are so many variations. Yeast can be found all over the world. You can find them in wooded areas, wet areas, cold regions, high altitudes, hot regions, you name it. You know what? Yeasts are even abundant in Wisconsin. There sure are a lot of yeasts. Like zillions of them. Lots and lots of microbes live right in our backyard, in our woods, and even on humans. They reproduce like crazy. Well, that is if conditions are right. Yeast can't survive under certain environmental conditions. You can't either. So are you related to U94922? U94922 realized it needed help narrowing down the search. Help you out. So far, which yeast do you think it is? Let's have a review of the yeasts that you've seen so far. To be able to identify them, we'll give these yeasts some nicknames. This yeast simulation we'll call magician yeast, dinosaur egg yeast, hotlands, cold regions, high altitudes, wetlands, plaid, woodlands, cyclops, hot and wet regions, and the monsters. We've heard a couple clues about U94922. Think about those clues. Look at the choices you have in front of you. Which yeast do you think is related to U94922? Mission cadets, please return back to your mission worksheet. Do phase 1, question number 2 at this time. Please stop the book while you complete question number 2. Which yeast do you think it is? Really? That's an interesting choice. Tell me how you came to that hypothesis. Some yeasts can make you sick, so be careful. But by and large, most yeasts are really helpful. Yeasts do certain things well. Take recycling, for instance. Some yeasts are pros at decomposing materials in the world. Biomass doesn't stand a chance against the microbes of the world. Yeasts are small and often slow, but they're mighty. Yeast can pillage ye sugars from ye plant materials, matey. Did you know that yeast help make certain beverages like root beer, foods like soft, fluffy bread, and even some medicines to keep you well? You 9 for 9 to 2 should be proud. Yeast, though, can get, well, gassy. Once they ferment sugars, they give off carbon dioxide gas and ethanol. Hey, wait, like the ethanol? The fuel ethanol? Why doesn't you 9 for 9 to 2 just quit the quest and become like a zillionaire? You 9 for 9 to 2 wasn't that good at making that green fuel. It's just not its thing. You 9 for 9 to 2 is really good at something, though. You 9 for 9 to 2 knew it could be used to make foods. Yum. So, was it like a carrot? Goodness, all these questions running through little Yu's head are starting to exhaust it. This quest is strenuous. You 9 for 9 to 2 is pooped. You 9 for 9 to 2 hopes you've learned some things about yeasts. Please, for the sake of sanity, could you suggest a scientific way for little you to figure out its family tree? What options does it have? Mission cadets, it's time to go back to your mission worksheet. Under Phase 1, please answer question number 3. What scientific ways could you figure out its family tree? Please stop the book at this time and resume when you're done answering question number 3 of Phase 1. Some of you guessed DNA. DNA? Excellent idea. Bravo! Did anyone tell you this is just an X-ray, though? That's nowhere near as precise as comparing DNA sequences. Not even close. What we need to do is extract DNA from U 9 for 9 to 2. Once we get our A, T, C's, and G's all lined up, bam! We'll know more, and we can help out little perplexed, exhausted, wet, recycling, and gassy you. Mission cadets, it's time to return to your mission worksheet, and upon completing this training manual, you can go to Phase 2. Congratulations!